Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Today I want to talk about something deceptively simple yet profoundly transformative, the horse stance. You might think of it as an old martial arts posture, a low squat with feet wide, knees bent, and core engaged, but it's much more than that. It's a tool, a daily practice, and surprisingly, a doorway to resilience, both physical and mental. As we age, the body naturally loses strength, balance, and flexibility. Many of us assume that this is inevitable, that weakness comes with years. But what if the opposite were true? What if age could be a springboard rather than a barrier? The horse stance shows us that it can be. Holding a horse stance requires attention and intention. Your legs burn, your thighs shake, your heart rate rises, but in that discomfort lies opportunity. That tension signals growth. It trains not only muscles but also your mind to endure, to persist, to tolerate discomfort without panic. In neuroscience, we know that repeated, small challenges strengthen neural pathways. The same is true for the body. The small daily strain of a horse stance builds lasting power. What makes it even more remarkable is its accessibility. You don't need a gym, expensive equipment, or years of training. 10 minutes a day, every day, can gradually transform your strength, posture, and confidence. Over time, those 10 minutes cultivate a body that feels alive, grounded, and capable, regardless of age. There's also a profound psychological lesson here. Holding the stance is an exercise in presence. It asks you to stay with the moment, to feel your body fully, to accept the discomfort without rushing away. That same practice of mindful endurance carries into life outside the stance. Patience, resilience, and self-awareness are all strengthened alongside your quadriceps. So whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, the horse stance is a reminder that strength is not a relic of youth. It is cultivated daily. It's a practice that says, I am capable, I am present, I am still strong, and perhaps most importantly, it's a lesson in the power of small, consistent actions over time. In closing, I encourage you, give yourself the gift of these few minutes each day. Stand firm, feel the burn, embrace the shake. Because strength is not about avoiding struggle, it's about meeting it with intention, curiosity, and courage. And in doing so, you might discover that age is not a limitation, but a stage for extraordinary growth. Age is often framed as a limit, a natural boundary beyond which strength, vitality, and resilience inevitably fade. Society has conditioned us to accept that after 60, our bodies will weaken, our energy will diminish, and our potential for growth will decline. But this perspective is not only limiting, it is inaccurate. Strength, vitality, and resilience are not purely the domain of youth. They are cultivated through consistent, intentional practice, and they can flourish well into the later decades of life. Age is not a fixed state of decline, but a stage in which deliberate actions can produce extraordinary outcomes. The first thing to understand is that the human body is remarkably adaptable. Muscles, bones, joints, and even the nervous system are capable of responding to new challenges, no matter your age. When we challenge our bodies through movement, resistance, or sustained postures like the horse stance, our tissues respond by growing stronger, denser, and more resilient. What this means is that someone in their 60s who engages in regular, mindful physical activity can experience improvements in strength, balance, and mobility comparable to, or sometimes even surpassing, the strength of younger individuals who remain sedentary. It's not about reversing age, it's about leveraging the body's innate capacity to adapt. But physical adaptability is only one side of the story. Equally important is the mindset we bring to the concept of aging. Believing that decline is inevitable can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. The moment we tell ourselves, I'm too old for this, our bodies often follow suit, influenced by our own expectations. Conversely, approaching age with curiosity, intention, and a commitment to growth opens the door to surprising possibilities. When we see strength and vitality as attainable through effort and practice, we begin to notice small improvements that accumulate over time. Every step taken, every posture held, and every session of consistent practice compounds into tangible progress, reinforcing the belief that age is not a barrier but an opportunity. This perspective shift is what makes practices like the horse stance so powerful. It is deceptively simple, yet it embodies a profound principle. The combination of consistency, attention, and effort produces growth no matter when we start. For someone over 60, holding this stance each day is not merely an exercise in muscle endurance, it is a declaration that they refuse to be defined by age. Each session challenges the body while simultaneously teaching the mind resilience, patience, and focus. Over weeks and months, the benefits manifest physically: stronger legs, improved balance, better posture, but they also emerge psychologically: increased confidence, a sense of agency, and the knowledge that one's potential is not capped by the calendar. Moreover, embracing this mindset transforms more than the individual. It challenges societal assumptions about aging and sets an example for others. By demonstrating that growth, strength, and vitality are possible well beyond middle age, those who commit to these practices inspire peers, family members, and even younger generations to rethink what is achievable. They show that aging is not synonymous with decline, but can be a period of continued exploration, empowerment, and personal evolution. Ultimately, the first lesson is clear: age is not a barrier. The limitations we often associate with growing older are largely constructs, mental, social, and cultural. Strength, resilience, and vitality are cultivated through deliberate, consistent effort, and they can flourish well into our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Each day presents an opportunity to defy expectation, to challenge both body and mind, and to experience the remarkable truth that we are never too old to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable than we were the day before. The horse stance is more than just a physical exercise. It is a profound lesson in the integration of body and mind. When we think of strength, we often imagine muscles, endurance, or physical capability alone. Yet true strength, especially as we age, extends far beyond the superficial metrics of fitness. It is a combination of physical power, balance, coordination, and importantly, mental resilience. The horse stance embodies this union perfectly, offering a daily opportunity to cultivate both the body and the mind in a single, deliberate practice. Physically, the horse stance engages the legs, hips, and core in a sustained isometric contraction. Unlike dynamic movements that come and go, this posture requires holding tension, which stimulates muscular endurance and increases stability. The thighs, glutes, and calves work together to support the body's weight, while the core muscles stabilize the spine. For those over 60, this is especially valuable. Aging naturally leads to a gradual loss of muscle mass and bone density, which in turn can compromise balance and increase the risk of falls. By consistently practicing the horse stance, older adults counteract these effects, strengthening the muscles that support posture, mobility, and functional movement in everyday life. What might appear simple is, in fact, a full body workout that lays the foundation for lasting physical resilience. However, the physical benefits are only half the story. The mental demands of the horse stance are equally transformative. Holding the stance for even a few minutes requires focus, patience, and endurance. As the legs begin to tremble and the burn sets in, the mind is challenged to remain present, to resist the urge to quit, and to embrace the discomfort rather than avoid it. This mental training is essential because resilience is not just about surviving physical strain. It is about learning to stay steady under pressure, to tolerate tension, and to navigate life's challenges without being overwhelmed. In neuroscience, this process strengthens neural pathways associated with self-regulation, attention, and persistence. In essence, the simple act of holding a stance becomes a gym not only for muscles but for the mind itself. The horse stance also teaches awareness and embodiment. Many of us spend much of our day disconnected from our bodies, moving on autopilot from one task to another. By committing to a posture that demands attention, we cultivate a sense of presence and mindfulness. We begin to notice how our weight is distributed through our feet, how our spine aligns, and how subtle adjustments affect balance and comfort. This heightened awareness carries over into daily life, improving posture, reducing tension, and fostering a deeper connection to one's own physical and emotional state. Moreover, the horse stance offers a lesson in gradual progress and patience. Unlike exercises that promise immediate results, the benefits of this posture accrue over time. Each session may feel challenging, even uncomfortable, but with consistent practice, the body adapts, muscles grow stronger, and endurance increases. Similarly, the mind learns to tolerate discomfort without panic, reinforcing the idea that strength is cultivated, not instantaneously gained. For older adults, this principle is particularly empowering. It demonstrates that age is not a limitation, but a context in which steady, mindful practice yields profound rewards. Finally, the integration of body and mind through the horse stance creates a sense of empowerment. Each time the posture is held, it becomes a reminder that capability is not defined by chronological age, but by the commitment to engage, endure, and grow. The stance transforms from a simple exercise into a daily ritual of strength, focus, and self-mastery, reinforcing the idea that we are capable of far more than we often believe. In sum, the horse stance teaches a fundamental truth: true strength is holistic. It is physical and mental, muscular and cognitive, external and internal. For anyone over 60, it offers a practical, accessible path to enhance both body and mind, fostering balance, resilience, and confidence that extend far beyond the practice itself. It is a posture that challenges, strengthens, and ultimately transforms, proving that the power to grow stronger exists at every stage of life. One of the most profound lessons the horse stance teaches is the extraordinary power of small, daily actions. In a world that often glorifies instant results, dramatic transformations, and overnight success, it is easy to overlook the subtle, cumulative impact of consistent effort. Yet, especially when it comes to cultivating strength, resilience, and vitality later in life, it is these small, repeated actions that create the most lasting change. The principle is simple: progress is not necessarily about intensity or duration, but about consistency and commitment. 10 minutes a day may seem modest, even negligible, yet over weeks, months, and years it becomes transformative. The beauty of the horse stance lies in its accessibility. You do not need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or advanced training to begin. All that is required is a few minutes each day, a clear intention, and a willingness to engage fully in the practice. For those over 60, this is particularly significant. Many older adults may feel daunted by traditional exercise routines or discouraged by perceived limitations. The horse stance offers a low-barrier, high-impact alternative, a practice that respects the body's current capacity while still challenging it to grow stronger. This combination of simplicity and effectiveness makes the daily practice not just feasible but deeply empowering. Consistency is the secret ingredient that turns small efforts into meaningful transformation. Holding the stance for even a brief period each day activates muscles, strengthens joints, and improves balance incrementally. Over time, these tiny gains accumulate into noticeable improvements in posture, stability, and functional strength. The magic is in the compounding effect. Each day's effort builds on the last, creating a foundation that grows stronger and more resilient with every repetition. This principle mirrors other aspects of life as well. Learning a skill, cultivating a habit, or nurturing relationships all rely on consistent, incremental investment. The horse stance, in this sense, becomes more than an exercise. It becomes a metaphor for how deliberate, steady effort shapes our physical and mental realities. The psychological benefits of daily practice are equally profound. Committing to a simple routine fosters discipline, patience, and a sense of self-efficacy. The understanding that one's actions have meaningful consequences. In neuroscience, repeated engagement in focused, purposeful activity strengthens neural pathways associated with persistence, attention, and habit formation. For someone over 60, this is empowering. It demonstrates that even small, seemingly modest actions matter and that each day presents an opportunity to improve, adapt, and grow stronger. The process itself becomes a form of resilience training, teaching the mind to embrace regular effort rather than seeking shortcuts or avoiding challenges. Another powerful aspect of small, daily actions is their ability to normalize challenge and discomfort. Holding the horse stance may initially feel difficult, thighs trembling, muscles burning, and balance tested, but by returning to the practice every day, discomfort becomes familiar, manageable, and even transformative. The body adapts gradually, but the mind also learns an invaluable lesson. Endurance and progress are achieved through steady commitment, not sudden bursts of effort. This insight transcends exercise, offering a broader perspective on aging, health, and personal growth. Life itself, like the horse stance, is built one deliberate step at a time. Ultimately, the horse stance teaches that lasting strength, physical, mental, and emotional, is not the result of heroic effort or sudden breakthroughs. It is the cumulative outcome of small, intentional actions performed consistently. 10 minutes a day, repeated over time, can redefine what is possible, proving that age is not a barrier, but a canvas on which disciplined, daily practice paints lasting vitality, resilience, and confidence. In embracing these small actions, we discover the remarkable truth: extraordinary results are often born from modest beginnings, and strength grows not in leaps and bounds, but in the quiet consistency of daily practice. One of the most important lessons the horse stance teaches is that discomfort is not something to avoid but a signal of growth. In a culture that often prioritizes ease, comfort, and instant gratification, we are conditioned to shy away from strain, tension, or challenge. Yet the very experiences that feel most difficult, the trembling legs, the burning thighs, the quivering core, are precisely the ones that stimulate change. Discomfort is not a sign of weakness or limitation. It is an indicator that the body and mind are being pushed beyond their current boundaries and are adapting to become stronger, more resilient, and more capable. Understanding this transforms the way we approach aging, exercise, and personal development. When holding the horse stance, the initial sensations are often startling. The thighs shake, the knees may protest, and the quads and glutes feel as though they are burning. For someone over 60, this can feel intimidating at first. However, this physical discomfort is actually a form of communication from the body, signaling that muscle fibers are being engaged, joints are stabilizing, and endurance is being built. Isometric exercises like the horse stance generate microstress in muscles and connective tissues, which the body responds to by strengthening those areas. This principle is not limited to physical growth. It mirrors how the mind grows stronger through challenge. When we tolerate and work through discomfort, our capacity for patience, focus, and perseverance expands. Discomfort also offers a unique opportunity to cultivate mindfulness and awareness. Unlike dynamic movements that occupy attention with motion, the horse stance requires stillness and presence. In the midst of physical strain, the mind naturally wanders, often searching for relief. Yet returning attention to the breath, posture, and alignment fosters a deeper sense of awareness. This practice strengthens the ability to remain present, even in situations that are difficult or uncomfortable. Over time, this mental skill translates beyond the stance itself, helping individuals manage stress, navigate life's challenges, and approach difficult conversations or tasks with calm and clarity. The burn in the thighs becomes a teacher, guiding the practitioner toward resilience and self-mastery. Another profound lesson from embracing discomfort is the reframing of fear and resistance. Many people over 60 may hesitate to engage in physical practices because they fear injury, fatigue, or embarrassment. The horse stance gently challenges these fears, offering controlled, measurable discomfort in a safe environment. By learning to tolerate this challenge and move through it, confidence builds, not just in the body, but in one's ability to face uncertainty and difficulty in other areas of life. Discomfort becomes a doorway to courage, showing that growth often lies on the other side of resistance. Furthermore, discomfort teaches humility and patience. The horse stance cannot be rushed. Progress comes gradually, with each session building on the last. The legs may tremble today, but with consistent practice, the muscles strengthen, the endurance improves, and the mind adapts to hold stillness with grace. This slow, deliberate progress reinforces the principle that meaningful growth, whether physical, mental, or emotional, rarely comes overnight. It is the repeated choice to confront discomfort rather than avoid it that produces lasting transformation. Ultimately, the horse stance shows that discomfort is not an obstacle to avoid but a signal to embrace. It reminds us that aging, challenge, and effort are natural parts of life, and that growth arises when we meet these experiences with intention and courage. For anyone over 60, this lesson is particularly empowering. It demonstrates that strength is not about avoiding strain, but about welcoming it, learning from it, and allowing it to shape both body and mind. Through this lens, the burn in the thighs and the tremble in the knees become more than sensations. They become markers of progress, resilience, and the enduring capacity for growth at any age. Another profound benefit of practicing the horse stance is its ability to cultivate mindfulness and presence. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to drift through life on autopilot, moving from one task to another without truly noticing our bodies, our thoughts, or even the passing of time. This disconnection can be particularly pronounced as we age, when routines may become rigid and attention scattered. Yet the horse stance offers a simple, tangible practice for reconnecting with the present moment, and in doing so, it strengthens not just the body but the mind as well. Holding the horse stance demands focus. Every detail matters: the alignment of the feet, the engagement of the thighs, the stabilization of the core, the positioning of the spine, and even the placement of the shoulders. The posture requires attention to the subtle interplay of tension and release, balance and strength. For the first few moments, the mind may wander, pulled toward discomfort, distractions, or future concerns. But as the practitioner returns to the posture again and again, awareness deepens. The focus shifts from external worries to internal experience. Breath, posture, and muscle engagement become anchors for attention, cultivating a profound sense of presence. Mindfulness cultivated through this practice carries benefits far beyond the exercise itself. When we learn to stay present in the stance, we strengthen the neural pathways associated with attention and awareness. Over time, this translates into daily life, improving our ability to listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and make conscious choices rather than reacting impulsively. For those over 60, this heightened awareness can be particularly valuable. It enhances not only safety and coordination, but also emotional resilience, helping individuals navigate challenges, relationships, and stress with clarity and composure. Moreover, the horse stance teaches us to inhabit our bodies fully. Many people experience a gradual disconnection from their physical selves as they age, paying less attention to posture, balance, and movement. By engaging in a posture that demands focus and alignment, we retrain the brain to be aware of the body's signals and limitations. This embodied awareness improves coordination, reduces the risk of falls, and fosters a sense of groundedness and control. In essence, mindfulness in motion, the careful attention to each aspect of the stance, reinforces the integration of mind and body, creating a holistic sense of strength and stability. The practice also encourages patience and acceptance. Holding a challenging posture can be uncomfortable, and it can be tempting to rush or abandon the stance prematurely. Mindfulness teaches the practitioner to notice discomfort without judgment, to observe sensations with curiosity rather than fear, and to remain engaged even when progress feels slow. This approach cultivates emotional resilience, showing that endurance and composure are learned through sustained attention, not avoidance. By meeting difficulty with awareness, individuals learn to approach life's challenges with the same patience and steadiness, enhancing both mental and emotional well-being. Finally, the horse stance demonstrates the power of small, intentional moments of presence. Even a few minutes of focused practice each day can transform not only physical strength, but also the mind's capacity to stay grounded, calm, and attentive. This is particularly meaningful as we age. It reminds us that vitality is not solely about muscle or endurance, but also about awareness, intentionality, and the ability to fully inhabit each moment. Mindfulness becomes a source of strength, just as critical as the muscles being trained beneath the thighs. In conclusion, the horse stance teaches that strength is not merely physical, it is an integration of mind and body, cultivated through presence, awareness, and mindful attention. For those over 60, this practice offers a tangible method to reconnect with the body, strengthen the mind, and approach each day with clarity, focus, and groundedness. By learning to remain fully present in the stance, we cultivate the inner resilience and stability that support both physical longevity and emotional well-being, proving that true strength is as much about awareness as it is about muscle. The final and perhaps most essential lesson of the horse stance is the idea of empowerment through intentional practice. Strength, whether physical, mental, or emotional, is rarely a product of chance. It is cultivated deliberately and consistently through actions that may seem modest at first but accumulate into remarkable transformation over time. The horse stance embodies this principle perfectly, teaching that true capability is not determined by age, circumstance, or genetics, but by the choices we make every day to engage, endure, and grow stronger. For someone over 60, this lesson is particularly profound. Society often projects limiting narratives about aging that after a certain point, our bodies inevitably weaken, our minds become less adaptable, and our potential for growth diminishes. The horse stance challenges this narrative by offering a tangible, actionable path to empowerment. Each time the stance is held, the practitioner experiences firsthand that the body is capable of far more than imagined, that effort produces measurable change, and that resilience is something developed, not inherited. This realization creates a sense of agency, a recognition that one's own actions shape strength, vitality, and confidence. Intentional practice is at the heart of this empowerment. Unlike passive activities or fleeting bursts of effort, the horse stance requires focus, repetition, and commitment. It demands that we show up, fully present, and engage with both the body and the mind. Over time, this consistency transforms more than just muscles, it reshapes beliefs about what is possible. The simple act of returning to the stance each day reinforces the idea that progress is built step by step, and that even modest actions, when performed with intention, can lead to extraordinary results. This is a lesson that extends far beyond physical fitness. It applies to learning new skills, cultivating relationships, managing stress, and navigating life's challenges. The power of choice, choosing to engage, to persist, and to grow, is universal and deeply liberating. The horse stance also teaches that empowerment is inseparable from self-trust and patience. When we commit to holding a challenging posture, there is no shortcut, no instant reward. Progress emerges slowly through consistent effort and the willingness to tolerate discomfort. Each small improvement, the ability to hold longer, to engage more fully, to maintain balance, reinforces trust in the body and confidence in one's own capacity for growth. This lesson is invaluable at any stage of life, but particularly for those in later years, as it reframes aging not as a period of inevitable decline, but as a stage rich with opportunity for mastery, self-discovery, and personal evolution. Another dimension of empowerment comes from the integration of body and mind. The horse stance strengthens muscles, improves posture, and enhances balance, but it also cultivates mental resilience, focus, and presence. By deliberately engaging both physical and mental faculties, practitioners experience a holistic form of strength, one that supports well-being, vitality, and confidence in daily life. This integration creates a sense of wholeness. The body is strong, the mind is steady, and the practitioner feels capable of meeting challenges with composure and grace. Ultimately, the horse stance demonstrates that empowerment is not about avoiding difficulty or seeking comfort. It is about choosing to engage with challenges intentionally, to endure discomfort with patience, and to invest in oneself consistently over time. For anyone over 60, this practice offers a clear and accessible path to reclaiming agency, building resilience, and experiencing the profound satisfaction of knowing that one's strength, both physical and mental, is within one's own control. In conclusion, the horse stance teaches that true power is cultivated, not given. By committing to daily practice, embracing challenge, and integrating mind and body, we discover the remarkable ability to grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable at any age. It is a daily affirmation that we are never too old to empower ourselves, to redefine what is possible, and to live each day with strength, confidence, and intention. The horse stance, in its simplicity, offers a profound reminder: strength is a choice, and every choice matters.